Hello, I'm William Gallagher and this is 58 Keys, a whole series about how that we as writers can get more out of the expensive Apple gear that we've bought. And this time I want to show you something, if you don't know this already, you will adore this. This is called Drafts 5 and let me just show you. It starts on an iPhone. So this is my iPhone home screen. There's lots of drafts. There's a blue icon there. Just tap on that. Now, unlike any other note-taking app I can think of, certainly any other word processor, that's it. I've opened it and now I can start writing and we're done. Let me come out of that. There's no starting, there's no finding a plus sign to create a new document. There's no putting it in a folder. It's just, oh, I've thought of something, open drafts, start typing. Do it very, very quickly. Let's just go back in. Blank screen again. Your next stray thought goes in there. So it's always like this. You think of something, you pick up drafts, you start writing, you put it down and forget all about it. Everything I've written there in drafts on my iPhone is already on the Mac in my office at home. It's on my iPad. It's actually even on my Apple Watch. Outside world. It'll never catch on. Okay, you do this, I do this. You're away from screens for some reason. You're away from keyboards as well, although I do actually have one in my pocket. We'll talk about that another time. But you get an idea. Maybe it's just a line of dialogue. Maybe it's a complete story. Maybe it's just that little thought. You do something. You could resort to pen and paper, if you remember those, or you could do this. It was a dark and stormy night, full stop. Honestly, again, full stop. I should really move somewhere else, full stop. It's dictation, so it's not perfect. But you also know that as soon as you've saved it, it's on your Mac at home, it's on your iPhone, wherever you are. Get it out of your head and into text and you can worry about it later. That dictation part really impresses me. I mean, I don't tend to use it very much. I like typing, you know, 58 keys, keyboards, yeah, clues in the title. But the fact that you can dictate for as long as you like in drafts. You may know that Siri on iOS lets you talk for, well, it's supposed to be 30 seconds. I've seen it go for 40. I don't know what the rule is, but after that it just, you know, it stops. Doesn't matter whether you're in the mid-sentence or not. It needs to chew it over and do it. Something in drafts. It uses the Siri engine, but it does something hinky and it keeps it going forever. It's really impressive in that line. But it's all about generating text. The thing is, what you do with the text then. I mean, that's very nice. I've just saved an idea to my Mac, my iPad, my iPhone and watch and all of these things. And actually I do that a lot. If I wake up in the middle of the night with a story idea, I will do that and I will let it save. But let me show you this. Go back in, back screen again. If I tap on here, right, this is an index of all the things I've written and you can see there are articles for Apple inside and things. But let me just tap on this one. Right, as I talk to you, it is actually 8 o'clock in the morning on a Friday. Every Friday I write a blog called Self-Distract. I might write it on the iPhone. I did this. I wrote it on the iPhone in drafts. I might write it anywhere, but it ends up in drafts so that I can do this. I don't know if you blog on WordPress or anything like that. It's not like it's an arduous process to put your post up, but you have to log in and enter it, and I have to go to the right section of the right way and all of this stuff. Whereas, well, now I just do this. Here's my Self-Distract blog. Tap that button. You see that? Post. And that's done. That blog post is now live on my website. Let me show you. That's meant to be the whole point of drafts. You pick it up to write something, get the text out of your head, and then you decide what to do with it. I mean, you just saw me post that to my blog. I save certain things to Evernote and Apple Notes, collections of story ideas mostly. I can email direct from drafts. And what I particularly love about that is, if I need to send an email and I open the Mail app, well, look what happens. I open Mail and there is a ton of other stuff. And before you even write the email to send it, you see that inbox with all of those messages waiting, and you know it's going to be one there you have to respond to immediately. And that's it. Whatever you were working on, that's gone. Your concentration is broken. You're maybe worried, maybe excited, but your head is in another place. You deal with that, and then you've got to get back to where you were. Whereas if it's an email I've got to send out to do with something, write it in drafts, tap a button, and it's sent. I don't see the inbox. I have to look later, but right then at that moment, done, sent, on to the next thing. And I really like that. Drafts is a subscription app, or kind of, sort of, a bit. There's a subscription, there's an app. It's a subscription app, and I do pay for it. It's $20 a year, which works out at about £18.50, £19, depending on when you pay. And of course, I think it's worth it because I pay for it. But there's a nice particular thing in it that you get a 7-day free trial. And if at the end of the 7 days you decide, nah, it's not worth it to me, you don't lose everything. It doesn't stop working. You no longer get the actions, that ability to post to WordPress or whatever. You don't get the, I don't think you get the dictation feature either. But everything else stays. And that's a pretty good everything else. You get to enjoy writing in it. You have that notebook, pick it up, write something, put it down, think of something else, pick it up, write it down. Know that it's saved, know that it's on all of your iOS devices. And also now the Mac. The Mac is actually what made me subscribe. Even though I knew it was worth it to me, I still hesitated because although $20 a year isn't much, and certainly not compared to what I get from Drafts, it's also not the only subscription I've got, and these things add up, so you think about them. So I did hesitate over it, particularly because my favourite part of Drafts, despite everything I've just showed you, is just how much I like writing in it, and I'd got that for free. It was the Mac version that convinced me to subscribe. You can't get or use the Mac version unless you subscribe. So I got it to be able to use it on the Mac. Now, as it happens, I don't enjoy writing in Drafts on the Mac quite as much as I do on iOS. I don't know why. There's just something about it. I like it, and I certainly use it. I use it a lot. I was trying to count this yesterday, knowing I was going to be talking with you. I think in the last week, 2 weeks even, there probably hasn't been a day, including weekends, when I haven't written between 2,000 and 4,000 words in Drafts on the Mac. So clearly I like it. And actually, except for specialist things like scripts or novels, fiction like that, anything that's a note, anything that's an article, anything that's non-fiction, I tend to write it in Drafts on the Mac. I write it on the Mac, I write it on iOS. I have actually done this. I have started a sentence in Drafts in my kitchen, waiting for the kettle to boil, and then finished it on the Mac upstairs. I'm not saying that's healthy. I'm saying you can do it, and I think it's well worth it. Go check out the trial. Really, seriously, have a great time with Drafts. You will love this software. Thank you very much for watching. This is 58 Keys. I'm William Gallagher. Please do subscribe because there is so much more we've got to talk about. See you soon.